Okay, so today's video, I'm going to entitle this The Bittersweet Experience of Working with Earl Sweatshirt and How the Label Robbed Me Badly. Okay, so just a disclaimer, before we go, understand that this is my personal experience. I'm just sharing it. There's no animosity towards anybody, towards the label, towards Earl Sweatshirt, towards anybody involved, anybody in the story. This is just my experience and how I got through. And some people, this may help somebody. Honestly, it's gonna help a lot of people. It's gonna clear the air on just what happens. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, my rookie mistakes, and how the industry takes advantage of artists coming into the industry with no knowledge of how shit goes down. I'm gonna just give you guys the whole story. A lot of people already asked like how I met Earl Sweatshirt, how I got in it, and how I even got a chance to work with him, because a lot of people want that for themselves. So I'm gonna just say that I was a part of a group called Slums. Very, very, very successful movement that Slums produced in the origins of hip hop, New York. So two of the Slums members were actually residing in the Bronx during the time of the come up, which was myself and Mike. And the Bronx is the hip hop origins, man. We had two members in Brooklyn and we had two members in Manhattan, and we had a homie in Queens. They welcomed us into their house to work. So Slums was fully all boroughs interconnected. And the peak of our success, that's when Earl came around. Earl found out about us through, I guess, A&R's gossiping about us. The world is really small, the industry is even smaller. When you're popping, best believe that somebody's gonna be talking about you in the industry. So, one A&R had spoke about highly of Mike to Earl, or Earl's manager or something like that. Earl was listening to Longest Day, Shortest Night, where I was the executive producer. I produced a bunch of beats and mixed that project for Mike. We dropped it in the summer solstice of 2016, and that project I hold close to my heart because so I think Earl first heard that, bought it on Bandcamp, and then we was like, oh shit, like, is this Earl Sweatshirt? Like, is that really Earl? Is this really Earl? So it was really Earl, long story short. We met him in the studio, and yeah, man, dope dude. You could tell he's anxious. He's an anxious dude, but I would be anxious too, if I was in his position. I was able to establish my own relationship with Earl because I ran into him into the street, and he already recognized me and was asking me to get in the studio because he already knew about my beats and stuff. And we started, I started getting in contact with him alone. I started sending him beats to his email, and I sent him a couple beats. I sent him a beat and named it On a Personal Level. So On a Personal Level was the beat that I sent to Earl, where he emailed me back and said, yo, you're my favorite producer right now. And that was in 2017. So, and a little bit before that, I already dropped Sunny Path, which was a great project for me. One of my first real strong, cohesively made projects where I fully produced. All my projects are fully produced and fully mixed myself and recorded in my own home, no studio or nothing. So it gave a real homemade feeling, and Earl was rating me highly. I already was feeling in my heart and my gut that we was gonna work. There was no doubt about it. Like, he was on a hiatus. He needed some inspiration. These young niggas in Slums are popping, and he wanted to cling towards that, Later that year, in 2017, on June 21st, the solstice again, Mike dropped May God Bless Your Hustle, where I had about 7 placements on there. I don't really call them placements. I don't really call them placements when it comes to like Mike's album, because we came up making beats. Like, there was no placement. We was already in the group, but I'm gonna call it placements for now, just because a lot of people love that album, May God Bless Your Hustle, and it's one of Mike's more popular albums. Like, my name was coming up in the credits of a lot of, you know, Slums albums, you know, friends of ours, you know, and all this stuff. So Tebe wanted me to produce for his album. It was clear. We would go to Sage's house and, you know, cook up with Tebe and establish some chemistry. I remember being at Sage's house. This was like Sage's old house, so in 2017. It was in Clinton Hill, Brooklyn. It was like a little duplex. It was cool. I remember cooking up this beat that I called In Your Veins. And it was a Brandy sample. And I remember playing it, and Tebe was like, yo, send me that. He's like, what's that beat called? I was like, In Your Veins. He's like, send me that. So I sent it to him, and this was around the time where my grandmother was suffering from cancer, pancreatic cancer, and I was in and out of the hospital checking up on her, having my last moments with her physically in this world. So Earl had sent me back his verse for In Your Veins. That was the first song we ever made together. The officially first song. I was with my brother. My brother, he remembers when I made my first beat. I was there when he fully realized that, you know, my beats were gonna take me far. I got a message from Tebe K, and it said Veins. And I was like, oh shit, I think Tebe just sent me a song. So we played the speakers, and like, I hear the beat, and then I sitting on the star thinking how I'm not a star. I can't call a dog. Yo, it was such an emotional moment because my grandmother was passing, and it was very conflicting for me, very, you know, bittersweet, which is why I labeled this video The Bittersweet Feeling of Working with Earl Sweatshirt, because we got to work with someone that I rated so highly, and I once, you know, used to wear the Earl hoodies. I had an Earl hoodie. My grandfather bought me that, and I used to love I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside, and I used to love Future. And my brother was the first one to hear the song. I played the song for my homies, and everybody in Slums was all happy for me, man. You know, like, and it felt amazing, you know, because that was also a time period where I felt like I wasn't credited enough for my contributions, whether it was filming videos, whether it was making beats, whether it was being the hype man. It was a happy moment, but I also care about my team. I don't care about being the main attraction. I care about my team, and I knew I wanted to make another track with Earl, for Earl's project, co-produced with Daryl, because that's my brother Daryl. Like, I wanted my nigga Daryl's self-esteem to be high. Me and Daryl go back in terms of production. Like, we was the two first producers in Slums, and it just means a lot to bring my nigga with me. That's what I mean, like, bring him on that project. And I loved intimate sessions where people will come to the crib and work. Like, I feel like that's how we get the best sounding product. The only person that would come through ever to my crib was Daryl, man. He pulls up to my crib, and I start chopping up an R&B sample, and I did my thing. You already know how the beat goes. And then Daryl added that legendary, and once he added that, it was already over. I already knew. I was like, this is the beat I'm gonna send to Tebe. I'm gonna send this beat to Tebe, and I'm not gonna tell Daryl because I don't want him to get, you know, like, self-conscious. I don't want him to overthink. I'm just gonna send this beat to Tebe, and we'll see what happens. I already know he's gonna mess with it. I just seen it. It clicked. Once they're on the drums, I was like, ooh. Then one morning, like, Tebe sent back Nowhere to Go. Said Nowhere to Go. And, you know, that song was very more cheerful. You know, Veins actually always makes me a little bit more emotional because Tebe sounds emotional. My grandmother passed it. So it was that's always linked to emotions for me. With Nowhere to Go, it's emotional, of course. You know, it's like we did it, you know, we got another track. It was very cheerful. So that day, so I remember one day Tebe was out in LA and I was over here, and Tebe was messaging me like, yo, I miss y'all niggas, man, because I guess we was young. We brought that young spirit back to Tebe, because Tebe's that old soul, right? He's the oldest young man that you know, right? But we brought that youth back because I was definitely on some youthful shit. Tebe was saying how he missed us and how he wants to work with us, and he wants to, you know, just slap up and stuff, because that's all we was basically doing, try to get the best out of our interaction. And I was thinking, you know, I was talking, you know, to my mom, and should I ask Tebe if I could fly out to LA to cook up with him? Like, Tebe was down, had his manager book my round trip flight, so I was out in LA for a week later that summer, towards the end of the summer in 2017, like August. Strictly just to make beats. I was making beats every day. It wasn't really successful, obviously, as you guys know. Like all you know, like the songs that he wrote to were the songs that I made, or the beats that I made while I was still in the Bronx. So, like going out to LA was just an experience. It was nothing. We didn't really make any more legendary heat, but I got to meet Knowledge. It was exciting. Like I was like, yo, like, this dude is pretty chill. Like this is Knowledge. Like this is a SoundCloud legend. Like we remember them days. Like go back to Tebe's crib, and you know, they rolling up. They like, yo, the first thing we're gonna do while you're in LA is introduce you to this Cali weed. So long story short, I was clapped. It started hitting me like, yo, I'm in Tebe's house with Knowledge, and started feeling guilty. I was like, why am I here by myself? Where are my niggas at? I'm supposed to be sharing this moment with my niggas. Trust me, they caught me. I was actually standing smacked on the wall, thinking like, I was like this. I was standing like this on the wall, like just smacked, like thinking to like, yo, like I was clapped. I was just like, this can't be real. I was clapped. And they was like, yo, you good? Why you? And I was like, yo, I'm gonna be real, like I'm clapped. How did I get here? How the fuck did I get here? I didn't want to express my vulnerability. I was mad vulnerable. I was like, yo, I don't even know these niggas. Like, and I just go into their crib, you know, I don't know what these niggas is up to. You know, like I was just kind of like, I was low-key spooked out. I was like, yo, I'm in these niggas' crib, man. What these niggas really on? I was clapped. I need my niggas with me, man. I need somebody I actually know for more than a month. But I was clapped. They meant no harm, you know. They just got me. Their intention was to get me clapped, and I got clapped, and I started overthinking, which I usually tend to do when I was smoking weed, which is why I stopped. I flew back home. I had some beats, but Tebe wasn't really vibing with it for his project SRS. But I did take this beat and end up using it on a project of mine called Untitled, where the beat was used for a song called Peace to Those Who Sleep. And I'm pretty sure there's maybe another beat that I used or something like that. I think an unreleased song called I Know We're Not Alone. So yeah. And I also even talk about how the industry sucks. I don't know, I was in my bag. But flew back, you know. I still had to feel the stresses of, you know, my brother signing to a label, because Mike signed to 3 labels for 3 projects. By the Water, Black Soap, and Renaissance Man, all were, you know, y'all signed to British companies and stuff. And I was right there. I was right by his side. So I still had to feel the stresses of signing, even though I wasn't signed. So it was like I was kind of getting over the drama of the industry. There started becoming rumors that like the song Veins started sounding different. One of the homies was like, yo, I heard Veins the other day when these people were working on it, when I heard, and it sounds off. He just was warning me. I was really upset when he told me that somebody who was involved with the sound of it was fucking with the music and stuff. I was trying to figure out what was going on, but you know, people like Tebe was acting like nothing, they wasn't doing anything. There was no communication back to me or what they was doing with my beat, because I sent them the stems and they started doing all this kind of stuff. To Veins, the first song that I had a full emotional attachment with. And I was just trying to figure out, because nobody was telling me. For months, nobody was telling me what's going on. And everybody was hitting me up, yo, peace out there, how you feeling? Like, can't wait to get you paid for this album. I'm like, first of all, you're not Earl, you're not the labels. Why are you talking about money that's supposed to be for, get out of my pockets, you know what I mean? They're like, oh yeah, they're gonna get you paid and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, do you know what's going on with the song Veins? What's going on? Because I feel like you have a part of this. And they said, well, I'm not allowed to talk about that. All this bullshit. So I was like, oh, these niggas are playing me. I felt like these niggas was playing me. So niggas started playing me, bro. Niggas started playing me, right? So it was just like a lot of, you know, every man for himself energy. And I just didn't understand what that was about. It made me a little bit, it hurt me deeply. It hurt me deeply. All this shit was happening with the beat. Called Tebe, like, yo, like, I heard that you're doing something with this beat, and I was like, why are the lines of communication so blurred? Like, I thought you should, I should be the first person you're talking to about this. And he like said, like, Ade, like, I'm the last person to do this to you in the industry. Like, I'm not the one. This was his words, like, I'm not the one. He said, listen, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna call you back and I'm gonna play you how Veins sounds right now, and I'm gonna ask how you feel. And I said, all right, man, like, it's all love, bro, you know, like, thank you. Dude never called me back. I still was left in wonders about what happened to Veins, right? Fast forward. The label started reaching out, managers started reaching out, you know, attorneys started reaching out, okay, now we got the contract, blah, blah, blah. They only reached out for nowhere to go. It only had my name in it, Ade Saeed, right? It had my name, Ade Saeed. And I was like, nah, it has to be Ade Saeed and Daryl Johnson. All the money was gonna go to me. I said, what? No, 50-50 or 25-25, you know what I mean? Labels, all they do is stress. You should not be stressing over music, man. You should not be stressing over releasing music. The music is ready when it's ready. Stop the deadline bullshit and all that shit. Stop all that stress. Music's not about that industry. Stop that. Stop. No one needs that. They stressing. I already got the secondhand stress from my brother who signed. After that, he was done with the labels. He don't want to sign no more because he sees how stupid it is to sign to a label in 2020. Even Tebe, when I talked to him, he don't want to sign to no label anymore. He got out of his contract and he's good. I'm independent. I got no manager, no PR. You already know, like, yeah, I'm just Ade Hakim. The contract is like 30 pages. You already know they trying to rob me. You already know they're trying to rob me if a contract for one beat and a like 11, 12 track LP is 30 pages long for one beat. So what I was able to see, beyond all the fuckery and the language, I was able to read clearly that it said the stated advance payment that me and Daryl would split to $2,500 each. It literally said that it was okay for them to not pay us the advance. And I was like, nah, we need the advance. Pay us back the advance. Pay us the advance. We need that. And I was telling them to correct it, and I asked them for a shorter contract, and they said they couldn't do it. Some bullshit. They said they couldn't give me a shorter contract, so they wanted to rob me. I didn't want to sign this contract. I didn't want to do this anymore. And it was outside parties. I was like, oh, well, do it for Earl. And I was like, nigga, fuck Earl right now. This is about me and Daryl's track and, you know, having our rights, owning our rights. You know, I remember telling Daryl, but Daryl was kind of like, you know, he was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to do here, you know, because. So I kind of took the lead on the whole legal paperwork stuff. So I got help from my homie's manager and lawyer, and they helped me as much as they can. They explained everything, and So we signed the contract, got our advance, whoop-de-doo. The Nowhere to Go single already dropped, you know, but I'm over it. That song was so old to me already, you know, like there's only so much you could take from that song, you know what I mean? There's only so much, you know. You know, everybody was like, oh my God, because you know, it's like Earl was just shouting out everybody, so it was like, it was more about, you know, shock value. And I don't like hype, man, I'm gonna tell you this, I don't like hype, and I was already over the hype. Plus all the bullshit shenanigans I was going through. So I was like, all right, y'all niggas hype, but I'm not hype. I'm mad. You know, the advance was cool. I was able to invest it and stuff. I think Mike's manager, who low-key just is the plug for just anything industries, he got the leak of some rap songs, you know, and he played it. He played it for me. He said, yo, is this your beat? And he showed me the phone where he was playing Nowhere to Go, and I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yo, congrats, you got a placement on Earl's album. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, well, let me see the track list. And I seen the track list, and I seen it say Veins. And I was like, can you play Veins? Like, I was like, I produced that song too. And he was like, the only production credit from you here is on Nowhere to Go, you and Daryl. And I was like, what about Veins? He's like, I don't think so. And I clicked Veins, same song, different beat. I remember I was at Daryl's house. I was fucking pissed. I was like, so when my homie warned me that the Veins sounded a little off and sounded a little different, I didn't know he was talking about the whole beat completely changing. And when Earl said he was gonna call me back and show me what he did with Veins, and he didn't even call me, I just felt played. And I was like, also, that could have been another track I could have got an advance for. I could have got a whole $5,000 for myself. But I wasn't stressing that really. I just loved the craft too. I loved that original song that my grandmother passed away in that same day, you know, that he sent it to me. So I was hurt, man, because I thought that Veins had more value. It had more emotion, it had more. I think that was Earl's most emotional song on that whole project. And he ruined it. So all that shit was thrown away when he didn't release the original version. It hurt. I'm gonna tell you this, yo, it hurt. It hurt. I was done with the industry. I was like, fuck y'all niggas, I'm working with my brother. I said, fuck y'all, I'm working with my brother. I heard he didn't like the industry. You cannot fuck with me. And plus, when the album dropped, the production credits had our name spelled wrong. And I remember telling them, do not spell our names wrong. This is how you spell our names so many times. And they still got it wrong. They spelled it Ade Sayad. You get the full copy, Ade Sayad. My name is not Ade Sayad, and it would say Daryl Joseph. This nigga's name is not Daryl Joseph. It's Daryl Johnson and Ade Sayed playing games with us and disrespecting us. That's how it first started. They was like, these niggas don't even have managers. That's how they looked at us. So we gonna really get, these niggas is food. That's how they was looking at us. So it was, you know, I felt played by Earl. I felt played by the label. And you know, I made that song, the label tried to rob me and I read it in the contract. I was talking about the advance. Literally, I thought I was free from them robbing me. But they robbed me, y'all. Of course they robbed me in a 30 fucking page contract. They robbed me more. I'll explain later, but right now, I was on my fuck the industry, fuck all these, you know, I'm just gonna work with my brother who believed in me from day one. We gonna make classics. We don't need no industry. Like, I was not over Veins, so you know, I skipped lanes. Now I'm on it with no delay. It's in my veins like the beat I sent to Tebe. Still got love for the people that would envy. Don't let them know your plans. The devil laugh is heavy. There was a moment where I couldn't even share this truth to y'all. This is the blessing of 2020. The truth is unraveling. You know, I'm not out here boycotting Earl. I'm not telling you to boycott Earl. I'm just sharing this because people want to know, man. We gotta fucking expose this label. Because once I tell you what happens with this label, you know, Tebe is just a human being, you know. I don't care about that one track anymore. But I'm just saying it hurt at the time. Tebe is a human being. I texted him, I said, I forgive you the other day when I decided to make these videos, because I'm not gonna go in here and talk about these people without, you know, reaching out to them. I told him I forgive him. He didn't respond back, but hey, I don't care. You know, so Tebe had gone on tour now for his album, brought Mike on tour, which was amazing. Like, shout out to Tebe for bringing my brother on tour. That was a great experience because I was able to, you know, come out to play with them for one of the shows in California and shit. We was able to make the money back for the advance, so we got paid one time, so a nice amount. I got paid $500, so that means Daryl got paid $500 too, so we both made $1,000. And I was like, okay, yes, run up that tour so people could listen to the song, know where to go, so we could get that money. And you know, I got a little taste of it, and we just started getting paid less and less. The next payout got paid $200. I was like, okay, maybe niggas not running the album much. Then it went less. It was $100. I was like, okay, this is not right. I was like, this can't be right. And then I got paid $50, and I was like, oh, these niggas is disrespectful, huh? Then I got paid $20. Then I got paid $1. I have the receipts. I'm not lying to you. I can show you. So something in that contract was basically, somewhere it was stated that they can, you know, do that. All I know is it was robbery. I'm not a label person. I don't sign the labels. You know, I barely wanted to even sign the rights away for one track. How could I sign the rights away for a whole album? I don't do that. Not when I work solely from my home. Give it to a label? Nah, nigga. You would have thought. Those payouts really hit me in moments where I thought, you know, I would be good. There was moments where I thought, like, you know, I was a little bit worried where my income was coming. I remember, you know, being in debt, like asking my mom to pay for this, that, and the third. And I was like, I'm gonna get paid from upcoming payout, and then it would be like $50. And I'm like, oh shit. Now I gotta start grinding and selling some beats to pay off my mom. Like, this shit is not right. Like, I told her, I'm a man of my word. I told her I was gonna pay the other month. I got paid $1. So that means me and Daryl together got paid $2 for that track. And it keeps getting lower and lower. I know people are telling me they bump that track almost every day. No way that people aren't bumping it. I get paid more on DistroKid for my own music by the month. I get paid way more. So I knew something was up. I just want to share with y'all. They look at young artists as food. They say, oh, you know, if you don't have an attorney that knows what the fuck they're doing, they're gonna take advantage of you. Give you 30 pages of language that doesn't make sense so they can hide whatever they really want out of you. Evil. It is evil. Criminal, like people have been saying on Twitter. It's criminal. Disgusting. 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 Don't ever sign no 30-page contract. Ask them for a 5-page contract. A 1-page contract. A 1-page contract. Fuck out of here. Don't ever sign no 30-page contract for whatever reason. Don't. No. You can agree in a couple sentences. I knew that I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. Why? Because the outside party said to do it for Earl. Shit, man. Shit. Come on, bro. I did it for you, Earl. I did it for you. You get in the money. You get in the money, man. That's why I say I forgive you, bro. I forgive you, man. I can forgive you. And the label's getting the money. We all know this is a real label. They're not even paying this nigga Earl. We all know it is. We all know this. We all know this. And then, you know, like, I sent Earl so many beats. I sent this dude so many beats. You know, when I was in California, I sent him all these beats. I was making beats, and he didn't use not one. He probably has a whole folder of my beats he's not using. The thing is, once he got those 2 tracks out of me, like, he stopped giving a fuck. He didn't care. You know? I know I'm that nigga. I don't care. I still make classics. But I felt exploited. Tebe, I felt exploited, man. I felt like you wanted me to give you all my beats, and then I had to work from the bottom up, you know, because I had high expectations and thought you was gonna put those to use. And I didn't want to jeopardize the opportunity, you know, of working with you again, so that's why I didn't do anything to them. But eventually I stopped giving a fuck. I told Tebe, yo, I'm taking all these beats back. I'm taking all these beats back. He said, no. The beat that I first said to him on a personal level. I said, I'm taking these beats back, man. You're not using it. He said, no. I said, bro, if anything, we can make some more beats in the future. He said, facts. Use for this. Like, you're not using it. Like, I want to send my beats where it's appreciated. I'm tired of sending rappers beats and they don't do nothing. If I'm sending you beats for free when I could get paid for this shit, come on. I send my rappers good beats that I wouldn't even sell. So it's a slap in the face to me. So I'm fully on something. I'll take a beat back. You don't need this shit, I'll take it right back. If I gave somebody something as a gift, I don't take it back. But with beats, I'll take that shit back if you're not using it. That beat, I just gave it to Master Holy. Any beat that niggas didn't use, there's no drama. You can't get mad at my brother. That's my brother. There's no drama. So the song that I sent, the beat that made me his favorite producer was the song on A Holy Journal, What Do You Want From Me? People are waiting for this. And if you're not gonna use this, man, anybody would appreciate the beat alone. So might as well just give it to my brother who's gonna eat it up as well. Next payout, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna even have a payout. It's gonna be $0. My friend made a joke, $1. So he said like Uno. That's what the label's playing, Uno. They going down to 0. And I commented back on Twitter like, next payout is gonna be 0, and they're gonna say Uno out. They out. So, but the thing is, I'm not here to say I need my reparations. I need my money. I'm gonna go full NWA and pistol whip niggas in record label office. I don't care. Keep your money. Keep your filthy ass money, man. It's gonna be obsolete soon anyway. We don't do it for that. We don't do it for that. I make this video because one, after I make this video, I don't need to talk about it again. Y'all already know. So it was very bittersweet. I shout out Earl still, because I was able to sell beats after he dropped, after everybody was hyped about me getting production credit. So I took that opportunity to, you know, promote my beats. And Earl retweeted a tweet of me promoting my beats, and I sold a few beats every time he did that. Cause come on, that's Earl. He has a cult following. Yeah, so I give it up to him, man. I still give it up to him because I can't act like he didn't help me at all. You know? You did me dirty if you're watching this. You did me dirty with the veins. You did me dirty with veins. But you did help me, bro. You helped me. You helped me learn the biggest lesson. You helped me learn fuck the industry. You helped me really learn that I don't want no parts of this industry. And you helped me get on my feet. Real shit. You helped me get on my feet. So if it wasn't for me making all those 20 beats in a day, like, I wouldn't be shit. So I'm not gonna say you made me. Nobody made me. I literally made this, you know, amongst a group, but I did make it independently. That's my story, y'all. It's very bittersweet, you know, working with somebody you once idolized, because I don't idolize no man, because they probably blinded by computer screens and guided by the program. I let them hide behind their own hands. I'm a rapper as well. I'm not just a producer. But anyway, yeah. So it's bittersweet working with the person you once idolized, you grew up listening to, because I was a young ass teen. Getting to know them personally a little bit, you know, seeing how you guys relate in person. You know, I understand his story. I understand how he came up. I understand, you know, his story is definitely unique. You feel me? And how he just came into the industry. You know, he came back from school in another island, came back into fame. Like, that takes a toll. You feel me? So I got to understand, put myself in his shoes. I felt the same way in a sense. I was homeschooled. I found myself and I was understanding myself, and then I went into the real world and people still was clueless about what was going on around them. That's what we can relate on. He went to that Samoa, you know, to really reflect on who he is. Came back into fame where people were just like free Earl, and you know, you could get lost in that shit, man. At the end of the day, we all was supposed to meet. It all happened for a reason, you know. I'm just sharing my side of the truth. I'm sharing my side. I'm sharing my anti-industry side, because I know if you rocking with this side, man, it's going to prevail, because love is how we pay for it. Money's obsolete, you know. We're abolishing all kinds of slavery, and yes, the music industry is one of the biggest forms of slavery, modern day slavery. So slavery is a choice, like Kanye say. Get out of that fucking contract. Don't fucking sign no contract. We don't need them anymore. We got social media, bro. We got social media. You know what I mean? Like, we got platforms we could create ourselves. Back in the day, it was harder to find somebody. Now we just can Google an artist, and they are always on Apple Music and Spotify. This shit is easy now, bro. We don't need them. Get your own shit. Invest in your own LLC. Do it. Do it. You can do it. It's not that hard. Stop seeking for industry validation. Stop seeking for cosigns. Stop that. That's not gonna get you anything but a distraction. This is not a boycott to the Earl. This is an abolishment of Sony. We abolishing the music industry. We not industry, we community. Alright, bring it in.